I have. Let's talk about Ashley Biden's diary. First of all, yeah, let's do it. First of all, Ashley Biden was the first person at the DNC that introduced her father, number one. Number two, she stands by her father. Number three, that diary was in the hands of 3 or 4 right-wing nutcases that stole the diary, including a guy by the name of Mr. O'Keefe. It has never been proven or substantiated that she even wrote that in the diary. But I'm sure you weren't aware of that. But you would rather look at and take something that his daughter wrote in a diary. By the way, even in the diary, even if it was real, which we don't know if it was, she said borderline maybe inappropriate.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We have the redheaded stepchild of the Democratic Party, Brian Shapiro, taking on a random MAGA caller. This is an explosive debate. You have to watch this. Make sure you like and subscribe for daily content. This is America only.
Even say policy. You said policies, and you couldn't name me one policy that you know of. Okay?
I'm not here to get into trolling or hate.
No, I'm not here to do that. I appreciate you calling in. All right, so tell me, what where do I start here? Why are you supporting Donald Trump? I guess let's start there.
Well, this would be my first time voting for him.
Okay.
In the past, however, 12 years. However, since 2016.
Okay.
I have voted in the past. But for me, he has the policies that make sense.
Which policies?
Honestly.
Like, give me some specifics. What specific policies that you like?
Economically, you know, we're not in a good spot economically. I feel that in my day-to-day life.
Okay, so that's your opinion on that, but specifically, like economically isn't a policy. So like what specific policies that Trump implemented you disagree with the Democrats on, and you could say, man, I really like that policy that really helped the economy, because he did put us $8.4 trillion in debt, and he left an economy that was terrible compared to the economy that he took over from Barack Obama. So I just want to know, like, what did he do in 4 years? Because you said you like his policies, and I just want to know, like, what policies do you like, right? That's a fair question.
Right.
Look, I mean, I think we can all admit Trump's been kind of a disappointment on things. I mean, he preached a lot of societal changes that have not occurred as of yet. So yeah, I can agree with that on that point. But also, I think his immigration policy has been pretty successful. I mean, we haven't had like the overflow that we've been having the previous administrations, and that's a good thing. We are trying to keep this America. So yeah, keep your diarrhea food over in India. We don't need that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, economically, you bring up the debt.
Sure.
I think the debt has been something to play with for these people. Tough to blame on just presidents, but, you know, the debt's out of control, obviously. Everybody says they'll get it under control, but
okay,
who knows? But, you know, and we had COVID.
Right.
We had to spend our way out of COVID.
You think he did a good job handling
Donald Trump?
You think he did a good job handling COVID?
Job.
So when he said 15 cases, so when he said 15 cases down to 0, it's going to be gone by Easter. He talked about disinfectant, and he turned his coronavirus press conferences into campaign rallies. Would you define that as a good job?
I wouldn't define that as defining the government's program of COVID at the time.
Okay, well, we were losing when he left, we were losing 3,000 to 5,000 people a day, and per capita, we were one of the worst countries in the world. Not the worst, but one of the worst countries in the world. And when we have more money than just about any other country in the world, I don't know. I guess I just respectfully disagree with you. I don't think that's good, but that's okay. We can disagree on that. Can you name me a policy that you like?
Just in general?
Well, yeah, because you said you like his policies, not a policy. And I just want to be fair with you. What is it?
In all honesty, I like the idea of America first. I like the idea of a strong America.
But that's not a policy. America first is a slogan. I didn't, with all due respect, I didn't ask you what slogans you like, because slogans mean nothing to me. Anybody.
Well, redhead, sometimes policy does implicate, sometimes the statements that people make sometimes do implicate the policies that they will install. And so when you're bringing more factories back to the country, defying NATO and NAFTA, that's a good thing. We need more jobs for Americans. Honestly, we should just close down the borders, personally. Like, just build everything back here, make things American for Americans. And liberals are more America first than they would like to believe. I mean, you guys are the ones that are pushing for electric vehicles and windmills, which need lithium, which comes from like African mines and such. So it's like, yeah, you guys are screaming, dig more, little African child. We need more lithium to power our electric vehicles because global warming and whatnot. I don't know, hypocrites.
Can do that. You said you liked his policies. I can give you a bunch of Biden policies that worked. The CHIPS and Science Act, capping insulin at $35, for example, helping to raise minimum wage, maternity leave, for example. I can give you a long laundry list of policies that worked. I'm just asking you for one, sir, and you haven't given me one.
Okay,
policy.
yeah. Okay, funding black colleges is pretty nice.
Funding black colleges. So what policy was that?
I'm not a policy guy. I'm not a political
Okay, so
guy.
fair enough. I understand, but that's fine.
But am I wrong? Did he fund black colleges
I don't know.
substantially compared to the past?
You're asking me. All I'm saying is you say you're not a policy guy, but yet you say the reason why you're voting for Trump is because you like his policies. With all due respect, sir, it's hard to have a conversation if you're going to say that. Okay, so let's check. Okay, you can't name me one policy. Okay, we'll move on from that.
I just did.
Well, that's not. What's the policy? What's the bill? You can't even
I
name.
don't know the name of it, man.
Okay.
I don't know.
So he just threw money at black colleges, but you don't know the policy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, all right. I don't know what policy you're talking about, but we can move on from that. No problem. Does it bother you that he's a 34-count felon? Does it bother you that he's a liable sexual abuser? Does it bother you that he calls our brave men and women suckers and losers? Does it bother you what happened on January 6th? Does it bother you that he still hasn't conceded the 2020 election? Does any of that behavior, forget about whether you think it's criminal or not, does any of that behavior bother you at all?
To an extent, sure.
Okay, well, I appreciate.
Not a large enough extent not to vote for him.
So
but to an extent, yeah.
So policies, even though you couldn't name any, with all due respect, policies are more important to you than principle. More.
Shut up, white knight. I mean, who gives a shit about any of that stuff, honestly? It's like, you know, you guys have done the same things in different ways. Like January 6th, was that really that bad? Like, let's compare numbers of looting and murders and assaults from January 6th to the Black Lives Matter protest. I mean, do you want to get into that? Do you really want to get into that?
Charles, is that a fair assessment, or am I don't want to mischaracterize your take.
In the choices that were given, legitimate choices of people to vote for,
Okay, why is
I'm going to go with policy over.
Okay, but you didn't name any policies, but that's okay. We've been there before. Can you tell me why Kamala, you don't think she's legitimate? What's wrong with her?
I didn't say she wasn't legitimate.
Okay, I'm mischaracterizing it then, but I want to hear I guess I want to hear. We've talked about Trump, sort of. I want to get your what do you not like about Kamala Harris? Is that a fair question? What do you not like about her?
It all seems fake. The joy thing. She's flip-flopped on a lot of different issues. She seems like a nice lady. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what they want her to win on. And I'm not against a woman president by any means.
Okay.
But from the things she said in the past to now, it doesn't smell right. And I know exactly what you're going to say.
Well, it's hard
Trump
for me.
It's the same thing.
No, I wasn't going to.
Dude, that was pretty racist. It doesn't smell right. What? Because she's Indian?
Bring up Trump. I just wish you'd be. So it bothers you, her laugh, her fake joy. Her laugh bothers you, but the fact that Donald Trump is a liable sexual abuser, that's not that big of a deal to you. Let's just talk about policy. Do you see where I'm going with that? January 6th, lying about the election, a liable sexual abuser, 34-count felon.
Well, how much sex trafficking has gone up since Biden's been president?
Actually, I'll answer that.
To do against that.
So my question was about Harris, but I will answer that question. Do you know, sir?
Well, you brought up liable sexual abuse.
Sure.
Dude, maybe TMI, but I would totally smash Harris.
That's why I bring it up.
Is Joe Biden a liable sexual abuser? Is Kamala Harris a liable?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Where was that proven in a court of law? Okay, where was that proven in a court of law?
In the court of law?
Yeah. Oh, so you laugh about the court.
No,
so we could just. So you're laughing about the courts. So we could just call somebody a sexual abuser, and that means that person's a sexual abuser, and it doesn't have to be proven in a court of law. And you're laughing at that? Donald Trump was proven liable in a court of law with a jury of his peers that he sexually abused a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. He has 25 plus women that have accused him of sexual assault or rape, including his ex-wife in a court deposition. But you're making a claim that is totally unsubstantiated, that Joe Biden is a sexual abuser? Where are you getting that from?
Well, I'd say the E. Jean Carroll thing's a joke.
Okay, so you think our courts are a joke. Okay, so what about the other 25 women? Are they lying too?
Dude, sorry for interrupting so much, but dude, old school Joe Biden was a total Chad. You know that he was walking around the office slapping like secretaries on the butt, telling them like, hey, I need that study by noon, toots. Like, dude, I would totally vote for old school Joe Biden. Old school Joe Biden for 2028. Let me hear it.
I don't know who's lying about Joe Biden, right?
Well, where has it been substantiated? Yeah, where has it been substantiated that Joe Biden is a sexual abuser? Well, what can you tell me about that? Because maybe this is breaking news. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, have you checked out Ashley Biden's diary, or is that?
Yes, I have. Let's talk about Ashley Biden's diary. First of all, yeah, let's do it. First of all, Ashley Biden was the first person at the DNC that introduced her father, number one. Number two, she stands by her father. Number three, that diary was in the hands of 3 or 4 right-wing nutcases that stole the diary, including a guy by the name of Mr. O'Keefe. It has never been proven or substantiated that she even wrote that in the diary.
Well, while we're talking about diaries, I'm not going to mention the name, there's a certain diary that we were all required to read when we were children that also included a bunch of like sexual assault allegations and a bunch of weird shit. I don't know. I personally think that was fabricated too. I totally agree with you, Brian Shapiro. I totally think that diary was fabricated.
But I'm sure you weren't aware of that. But you would rather look at and take something that his daughter wrote in a diary. By the way, even in the diary, even if it was real, which we don't know if it was, she said borderline maybe inappropriate, okay? You have a woman in a court of law that said that Donald Trump raped her. It was proven based on evidence in a court of law that Donald Trump raped her. So you want to laugh at...
How much did she win? How much did she win in that settlement?
Here's my question. I don't care about the money. Okay, here's the problem that I have here.
She said it was sexy. She said it was sexy.
Okay, so does that mean that
live television.
So does that mean that it didn't happen?
I'm saying this woman maybe isn't the parameter of what you should be listening to.
So you don't think this woman?
These are New York socialites, they're free.
Okay, so you don't think that's a parameter, E. Jean Carroll, even though a jury decided he's a liable sexual abuser, a man who has 5 kids with 3 different women, a man who's had 25 women have accused him of sexual assault or rape, but you want to go by and call Joe Biden a sexual abuser because a diary that was completely unverified, never proven in a court of law, that was in the hands of Mr. O'Keefe and other right-wing turds that stole the diary. Do you see where I'm going with this, sir? It's an issue of credibility. This is the man who bragged about sexual assault, who said, if she wasn't my daughter, I would date her. By the way, how can you explain the fact that he was on the Jeffrey Epstein flight log 7 times, mingling and hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein? Or does that not bother you at all either?
I mean, it's a cause for concern, but listen.
It's a cause for concern.
Shut up. Jeffrey Epstein knew how to party, dude.
Also of this ultra wealthy status, which I'm against. That's probably one of my biggest knocks on Donald Trump. They catch rides all the time because they're jet setters. Okay, doesn't necessarily mean anything went down.
But you know who wasn't on? You know who wasn't on that? You know who wasn't on that flight log? Joe Biden.
I guess Kamala Harris or Joe Biden.
Yeah, they weren't on that flight log.
Joe Biden owns an island right by a little St. James, not far off. I mean,
so because
you've never heard that, but he does. And he mingles with all these people. It's the same.
Okay, can you show me? All right, fair enough. Can you show me one picture of Joe Biden mingling with Jeffrey Epstein? Because I can show you pictures and videos of Donald Trump. Does that not bother you at all?
Does it not bother you at all that there are pictures of Joe Biden sniffing and touching on little kids? You friggin' redhead.
It's a bad look, no doubt.
It definitely is a bad look. We agree on that.
But I mean, okay. Yeah, sure. It doesn't look good.
So what are your criticisms of Kamala Harris? I mean, you're making fun of her laugh. I've given you.
I didn't say anything about her laugh.
Well, you said it's fake joy.
You're painting.
Fake joy.
The campaign is based on the idea of joy.
Sure.
When I tuned in,
here's what I tell you. You know why I say that, sir? And you can tell me whether you disagree or not. I've been to both Trump rallies and Kamala Harris rallies. The Trump rally I went to a few months ago. Yeah, I try to hear both sides. That's why I'm keeping you on the line, because I think it's a good conversation. I went to the Trump rally, okay, in Vegas. I saw a bunch of F. Joe Biden shirts. I saw Confederate flags. By the way, I videoed this and I documented it. A lot of hatred, a lot of bigotry. And when I say joy, I went to the Harris rally several weeks ago. I didn't see any vulgarities. I didn't see any Confederate flags. All I saw was Waltz, and I saw Harris flags, and people were smiling, laughing, and having a good time. Now, I'm not saying that every person that goes to a Trump rally is filled with bigotry and hate, but the rally that I went to, there were a lot of people that were filled with bigotry and hate. And in my opinion, it's why the KKK, it's why the Proud Boys, and so many hate groups in this country support Donald Trump, including David Duke. So when I say joy, sir, I mean, I didn't feel any negativity or hatred when I went to the Harris rally. There were a lot of people enjoying themselves, having a good time. Do you disagree with that characterization?
Somewhat, yes, I do.
Okay, so tell me where I'm wrong. Go ahead.
I'm sure the 5,000 Palestinian protesters outside the DNC weren't
There were
very
no,
happy.
okay, so hold on, let's backtrack. There were no,
5,000, it's not that much.
let's backtrack. I was just talking about rallies. There were no Palestinian protesters at any of the Harris rallies that I have been to. If there are,
That you've been to.
okay, if there were protesters outside of a venue that are chanting horrible things, guess what? The Harris campaign doesn't approve. And guess what? You're making my argument for me. Those Palestinian people that were protesting are not voting for Kamala Harris. I'm talking about the supporters that support Donald Trump that were wearing the bigotry and the Confederate flag, which once Donald Trump, by the way, defended. The people that you're describing are not supporting Kamala Harris. I'm not talking about protesters. I'm talking about your supporters. You do understand.
Yeah, I mean,
you do understand. That those people are not.
Where you're coming
those people are not supporting Kamala Harris. How could you?
These people literally live off memes and all of their little social bubbles. Like, isn't it funny that liberals, like, their main line of defense is to call, like, Republicans snowflakes and, you know, use the terminology that we use against them, like the left can't meme. Oh, the right can't meme. It's like, think of your own content. Shit.
You criticize Harris for that.
Sure. I mean, they're of the left, though. I mean, they could be supporting her.
How do you know that? How do you know they're on the left? Has somebody done a census? Has they interviewed these people? They could be non-voters. They could be MAGA supporters.
I would contend that most people that want a ceasefire and want a free Palestine would be more left-leaning.
Okay, actually, we're going to actually wrap this up. I mean, this is pretty redundant. Brian Shapiro got totally crushed by this random guy. He just totally explodes every single time. It's just amazing to me. I'm going to keep following you, Brian. I'm going to keep messing with you and stealing your lunch money, Brian. Well, if you like videos like this, please like and subscribe. We are dropping daily videos every single week. And remember, it's not America first nor America last, but America only. Thank you for watching.